Hey everybody, welcome to Britpops React. You're me, BP1
Hello.
and BP2. We're back
Hey,
with Lawrence and Lost in the Ponds channel with how America makes Britain look like a tiny village. So
Okay. Well,
well,
we're getting the
sizes, haven't we? We sort of worked
did that
out
one.
the size.
Yeah.
And we were with so many states were bigger than United Kingdom.
Yep.
So
On area and so on and so forth, and also we found out that just one of the states makes the same GDP as the whole of the UK. I think that was another one, California.
Right.
So thanks for all your comments as well, from posting information about where you're from and how it's different, because we know that different states have different laws, different taxes, and different sizes. So let's see what our friend Lost in the Pond has got to say on this one, because sometimes we have to take things with a bit of a pinch of salt.
Refrigerators.
Refrigerators. But let's
hit the
see what he's
subscribe
going to do on
button.
this one. Yeah.
If you've come with us, or you've watched us before, or you just joined us, lots of info on the channel that we've done so far, and lots of places where you can help influence where we go. So make sure you hit the subscribe button. It is free. A lot of people, that's why we put it's free, because a lot of people say, oh, subscribe, that means that I have to pay stuff every month. You don't. It's just where you hit the subscribe button, it means it's just going to pop up in your YouTube feed. You know, us more often when we release a video every day, and you might want to watch it or you might not.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it, shall we? How America makes Britain look like a tiny village.
Is larger than not just London, but half of the English counties. Hello, I'm Lawrence, and I'm on a quest to uncover all of the memos that Britain and America lost in the pond, and one of those memos pertains to size. They say that size doesn't matter, but have they looked at a map recently? Because it does matter when you move from Britain to the United States of America. You see, somebody once said that the biggest difference between Britain and America is that Americans think that 100 years is a long time, and that the British think that 100 miles is a long way. And I definitely used to think like this. For instance, I used to think that travelling from my hometown of Grimsby to the city of Manchester was a long way,
which is the most grimmest place in the UK, by the way.
But after moving to the United
Very
States,
grim.
where long-distance commutes and cross-country
That
road
explains
trips
a few
are not
things.
that unusual, I soon realised that Americans viewed 100 miles as no biggie. And as somebody who now fairly frequently does the commute from Chicago to Indianapolis, I have fallen in line with my American comrades. But just in case you don't believe me, or in case you're one of those British people that I often hear about, that comes to the United States and expects to see New York City, Las Vegas, San Francisco, and the Grand Canyon all in one weekend, then allow me to present to you some maps. Some maps that highlight the scale of the United States in all its glory. Let's take a look.
Okay,
Firstly, let's take a look at the United States as a whole. If we include land and water, which we will be doing throughout this video, the United States has a total area of about 3.8 million square miles.
3.8 million.
Contain 40 not just Britons, but UKs. And for clarification, the UK is
That's
Britain
crazy.
plus Northern Ireland. The biggest country within the United Kingdom is my home country of England. And you've almost certainly heard that the United States has an entire region named after it. Let's have a look at how they compare. As the United States goes,
oh, thanks for subscribing, Maffle.
Small area
Cheers.
of land comprising 6
New
states.
England.
Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island. And despite the fact that 5 of those states feature in a list of the 7 smallest, the New England states combined are almost 22,000 square miles bigger than England. In fact, you could throw in Wales, Northern Ireland, and New England would still come out on top. But even when you add in Scotland, there are certain other states that are bigger than the entire United Kingdom.
Yes, which we've done a video on this.
11 states.
I think it was this video we done,
but this video
actually.
was mostly crap, and the chief complaint about it was that I didn't show any maps, so you just had to imagine it. Well, to show that I've grown as a YouTuber,
that's true, we did mention
that. We did it.
UK context, I've put together a graphic. Have you ever seen those videos that compare the size of the Earth to the size of the Sun, and then the Sun to the next biggest star, and the next biggest star to the next biggest star?
Which is, they're just ridiculous, aren't they?
Do the same thing with the UK and its 11 American overlords. So here are 11 US states with a total area, that's land and water, that's larger than the UK.
Michigan, okay, not by much, but just about. Oh, all right. Oh, I see.
I
Right,
see.
Michigan to that one. Right, Wyoming to
Oregon. Yeah.
Oregon to Colorado.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. To Nevada.
That's
Damn big. Arizona. Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
New Mexico.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. It's getting big now.
Big. Montana. 147.
Okay.
California, we know is
yeah,
huge,
yeah, massive, yep. And then Texas, the big daddy.
Whoa, look at that.
Twice the size.
Alaska.
And Alaska, 663.
Compared to 93.
Huge, yeah.
Now,
but because it's right at the top there, you hardly...
Yeah, don't you
winning
think?
by a country mile. Sorry. So before we continue, I am going to throw in a fun fact that allows the UK a moment of glory.
Come on,
the
then.
number of US states that you could collectively fit into the entire UK is 10. Now, admittedly, it is the smallest 10, and those are West Virginia, Maryland, Vermont,
Right.
New Hampshire, Massachusetts, New Jersey, Hawaii, Connecticut, Delaware, and Rhode Island.
Brilliant.
Well, there you go then.
The one thing that you might notice about all of those, with the exception of Hawaii, is that they are east of the Mississippi River. But once you go west, things become so big that your
bigger.
eyes fall off.
Yeah.
And something that
Counties
really
larger than
gets me out
Wales.
west are counties. You may remember last year I did a video on the differences between British and American counties, and one of those differences was size. For context, I want you to keep in mind that the largest county in the UK is North Yorkshire. This clocks in at roughly 3,341 square miles. So it is
BP2
itself
stop snoring.
the size
Yep.
of Northern Ireland. Well, at this point in the video, it won't surprise you to hear that the United States has well over 100 counties larger than that, and the vast majority of them are out west.
Okay.
Yeah, I bet, yeah.
Now, if we
He looks like Timmy Mallet there.
I was going to say, was that the same guy?
Alaska
Yeah.
has two county equivalents that are not just larger than North Yorkshire, but the entire United Kingdom. Alaska, you are massive and you need to be
It is,
stopped.
yeah.
Yeah, but there's nothing there.
And you might
Well,
think, well,
no.
Alaska's
Well, the majority
almost
is land
massive,
mass.
so this is just
There's nothing.
cheating. And it is true, Alaska is like the Galactus of American states. We should start calling it Galaska. But even if you drop down into the lower 48 contiguous states, there are some counties that are so big that they make certain countries look like quaint villages. Take, for example, the largest in the lower 48, San Bernardino County in California. At over 20,000 square miles,
okay.
it's approximately 4 times the size of Northern Ireland and more than twice the size of Wales. And it's not
Bloody
alone.
hell.
San Bernardino County is one of 10 counties with a square mile area of 5 digits. Now, in both Britain and America, within your average county, you'll probably find a city or two, and it'll be of no surprise to you
Right.
whatsoever that America's largest cities are larger than the UK's largest cities.
Okay.
In the UK, the
City's
largest
larger than
city by
Suffolk.
area is comfortably London. In fact, at
Great London.
671 square miles, it is the third largest in Europe. Now, it's important
Right.
to remember that that's before we take into account the wider metropolitan area. And indeed, before we do that, there are several cities in the United States that are considerably larger than 671 square miles.
Has he just walked that 671 miles there?
Look like it.
Of New York, Chicago, or Los Angeles. Though this
Right.
changes somewhat when we do account for each city's metropolitan area. But again, before we do that, I've said do twice. The largest 4 places in America that you could reasonably define as a city are all located in Alaska. Anchorage, Juneau, Wrangell, and Sitka all measure well into the
Really?
thousands of square miles.
What's the population
Okay.
though?
Alaska, everything is
Well, that's it. That's the question, isn't it? Because you can have, a city class as a city, but is that area? That's just its caption area. Because outside that, I suppose it would be bigger, wouldn't it? If you didn't have you have zip codes out in the US, where we have
Yep.
postcodes. If you're sending something, I suppose the nearest city is going to have to be that one. So it's got to have some sort of catchment area.
Yeah,
Which
okay.
is bigger than that. But there's no denying the scale that Lawrence delivers here to show us Brits. We knew it was massive from the videos that we've done, but
Yeah.
I didn't realise that California, the size of it, and then to say that one of its counties
San
is
Bernardino.
twice or is bigger than Wales itself.
Yeah, yeah.
And knowing how big Wales is roughly, I mean, that's just one county.
One county, yeah.
In a state of loads of state of 50 or something.
It's hard to get your head around, isn't it? And like I said, you know,
yeah.
And even when he did that comparison thing, they started off in the 90,000s, and Alaska's 660. You know, I mean, that's crazy in itself.
No wonder we think the maps are big on the.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say on the computer games like Red Dead Redemption and Grand Theft Auto, and we said these
right.
maps are massive. They're like big as Britain.
Yeah.
Whereas in America, they're just like, wow, this is just as big as a county.
Brilliant.
So funny. All right, let's keep going.
Okay.
So instead, let's take a look at the opposite end of the country, down in Jacksonville, Florida. Jacksonville, Florida is surprisingly massive, owing partly to the fact that it consolidated with Duval County in 1968. Nonetheless, when you add up its water and land area, Jacksonville is the largest city in the lower 48. And at 874 square miles is larger than not just London, but half of the English counties. Now, if you take into account the metropolitan areas of both Jacksonville and London, Jacksonville marginally comes out on top.
Alright,
just that's despite the fact, yes, I changed my shirt, and that's despite the fact that Jacksonville is significantly down the pecking order when it comes to America's largest metropolitan areas. In terms of square mileage, there are dozens across the country that outmatch it, but none more so than the San Bernardino metropolitan area. Otherwise known as the Inland Empire, the Riverside San Bernardino, Ontario metropolitan area covers more than 27,000 square miles, almost the total area of Scotland. That's it for this episode. Let me know in the comments below some of the experiences you've had in the United States that have really highlighted its enormity. Be sure to share this video with your friends and family so that...
Yeah, thanks for saying that. Make sure you do share this video with your friends and family. No, I mean...
it's huge. I mean, and again, you know, just sort of listening to him reel off place after place that are bigger, it takes a while to get your head round that, you know, all us people are living in that tiny one that he keeps sort of, you know, comparing all your states and regions to. That's all of us crammed into that little area. So, yeah.
And what's interesting, when you look at the sizes, if you look at Australia and think of our population compared to like Australia, we're like 2 or 3 times more populated in Britain than Australia, and Australia's landmass is huge compared to us. And then obviously America even more so. I mean, it's just humongous, isn't it? No wonder there's so much space though, isn't there? And that's what we don't have in Britain. Okay, so you know we've had it with some of the subscribers that have said, you know, they live on a road that's like 12 miles long or whatever. I mean, here, you know, we've got like 2 or 3 cities along our south coast, all within, you know, 12, 13 miles of each other.
That's it.
And there's a lot of people in those cities, and it's like, you know, from on the south coast, the 2 biggest cities, and now you can't drive between them without driving constantly through, you know, suburban areas, like all the way. There's no actual bit where you go, oh look, there's grass, there's openness. There is none. It's just solid, isn't it, in the UK pretty much now?
Pretty much now, yeah. And it's getting even more, you know. A lot of the greenbelt areas are sort of being taken up for more housing. I mean, yeah, it is getting a bit ridiculous. But, you know, and like you said before, that bit... you know, we thought that 100 miles is a long way, and we do. You know, it's 150 miles from we're 150 miles apart, and it's sort of right. You know, it becomes a big road trip to go that far between our places, and like you say, you know, he's commuting now 189 miles and thinking nothing of it. So
it's crazy. It's crazy. What makes me laugh is they were saying, oh, you know, for the human race to exist, you know, they need to leave the planet to go to Mars or whatever. And I'm thinking for Britain to exist in so many years' time, to leave Britain and go to somewhere like America where there is just more space.
More space, yeah.
Because, you know, it has to come to a halt at some point. You just say, right, we've just got too many people in this.
Run out of room, yeah, you know. Well,
There you go. How America makes Britain look like a tiny village. It did actually, yeah, make us look very much like a tiny village compared to America. There you go. Well, make sure you hit the comments. Let us know what you.
Whereabouts? Where are you located? And
yeah.
did it cross your mind that you're X amount times bigger than where we live and habitate? Okay.
Unbelievable. All right. Thank you so much for joining us here at Britpop React. We do appreciate your support and watching us on the channel. Until tomorrow for another reaction, it's a goodbye from me.
Goodbye from him. All the way up there, 150 miles away.
Tiny little village.
He's a 20th century boy.